Love brings two people together to form a new team. This team is special. It is a partnership that should be the most important one in your life. But sometimes an outside force creates a challenge. This force is often the family you grew up with. It can be hard when you feel your spouse is choosing their parents or siblings over you. You might feel like you are not their number one priority. This feeling can be very lonely and can cause a lot of hurt inside your marriage. It is a common problem, but that does not make it any less painful for the person experiencing it. This situation can show up in many small ways. Maybe your mother-in-law makes a critical comment about your cooking, and your spouse says nothing. Perhaps their family plans a vacation without asking you, and your spouse just agrees to go along. These moments can make you feel invisible or unimportant. You begin to question your place in your spouse's life. You wonder if you are truly a team. The silence from your spouse can feel louder than any angry words. It sends a message that your feelings are not as important as keeping peace with their family of origin. When this happens over and over, it can build a wall between you and your spouse. You might start to feel resentment. This is a dangerous emotion for a marriage. It is like a small crack that can grow bigger over time if it is not fixed. You might find yourself feeling angry, not just at your in-laws, but also at the person you love most. You married your spouse to build a life together, to be each other's main support. When that support is not there in moments of conflict with family, it feels like a betrayal of the promise you made to each other. It is important to understand that this is a delicate issue. Your spouse loves you, but they also love their family. They have a long history with them. For many people, the idea of standing up to their family is very scary. They worry about causing arguments or disappointing the people they have known their whole lives. This does not make your feelings any less valid. Your need to feel secure and prioritized in your marriage is real, and it is important. The first step is to recognize the problem and understand that your feelings are a sign that your love tank is running empty. Why does a spouse sometimes struggle to side with their partner? The reasons are often deep and complicated. For many, family loyalty is something they learned from a very young age. They were taught that family is everything and that you must always support them, no matter what. This belief is not a bad thing on its own, but when a person gets married, their first loyalty needs to shift to their new family, which is their spouse. Some people find this shift very difficult. They fear they will be seen as disloyal or ungrateful if they disagree with their parents or siblings. Another reason is the fear of conflict. Many people grow up in homes where disagreements were not handled well. They might have seen a lot of yelling or silent treatment. Because of this, they learn to avoid conflict at all costs. They believe it is easier to let a comment slide or to agree with a plan they do not like. They do this to keep the peace. In their mind, they are protecting the relationship with their family. They do not realize that by avoiding one conflict, they are creating a much bigger one within their own marriage. Their desire for external peace is causing internal turmoil for their partner. Sometimes a spouse may not even see the problem. They might be so used to how their family operates that they do not recognize when a boundary has been crossed. A critical comment from their mother might just sound like how mom always talks. They do not see the hurt it causes you because it feels normal to them. They are not intentionally trying to hurt you or make you feel small. They are simply blind to the dynamic because they have lived with it their entire life. They need you to gently help them see the situation from your perspective, to see how it feels to be on the receiving end. Finally, there can be a sense of obligation or even guilt. Parents may have sacrificed a lot for their child, and the child feels they owe them unending loyalty in return. They may worry about hurting their parents' feelings, especially as they get older. This sense of duty can be so strong that it overrides their commitment to protect their spouse's feelings. They are caught between two loves, the love for their parents and the love for their partner. They do not know how to honor both, so they often fall back on the older, more familiar loyalty, not realizing the damage it is doing to their marriage. Talking about this issue is necessary, but it must be done with care. The goal is to bring you closer, not to push your spouse further away. The first step is to choose the right time and place. Do not bring it up in the middle of an argument or right after a difficult visit with family. Wait for a calm moment when you are both relaxed and can give each other your full attention. Turn off the television, put your phones away, and create a space where you can connect. The setting matters. It sends a message that this is an important conversation that you want to have in a loving way. When you begin to speak, use I statements instead of you statements. For example, instead of saying, "You never stand up for me," try saying, I feel hurt and alone when your mom criticizes my parenting and I don't feel your support. This approach is less about blaming and more about sharing your own feelings. It helps your spouse understand your emotional experience without feeling attacked. When people feel attacked, they become defensive. When they understand your hurt, they are more likely to respond with compassion and a desire to help. It is also helpful to be very specific. Do not just say, "Your family is always causing problems." Instead, give a concrete example. You could say, "Last week when your brother announced we were all going to the lake on Saturday without asking us first, I felt like my opinion didn't matter. I felt hurt when you agreed without talking to me." Being specific helps your spouse see the exact moment that caused you pain. It moves the conversation from a general complaint to a specific problem that you can solve together. This makes the issue feel more manageable and less overwhelming. Listen to your spouse's side of the story as well. Ask them questions to understand their perspective. You might ask, "What makes it hard for you to talk to your family about these things?" Or, "What are you afraid might happen if you did?" This shows that you care about their feelings and struggles too. This is not just about your needs, it is about finding a way for both of you to feel respected and secure. A true conversation is a two-way street. By listening with an open heart, you create a safe space for honesty, which is the foundation for finding a real and lasting solution together. After you have talked, the next step is to work together on a plan. This is about creating a united front. One of the most effective strategies is to establish clear boundaries as a couple. Decide together what is acceptable and what is not when it comes to family interactions. For example, you might agree that you will make all major decisions like vacation plans together before responding to family. You might also agree that any critical comments about either of you will be addressed directly and calmly in the moment. These are your rules for your team. Consider a scenario. Your mother-in-law often drops by unannounced. This disrupts your family time. The resolution is not for you to be the one to tell her to stop. Instead, you and your spouse agree on a new boundary. Your spouse then takes the lead in communicating this. They might call their mother and say, "Mom, we love seeing you, but we need to ask you to please call before you come over from now on. We want to make sure we can give you our full attention when you're here." In this way, your spouse is taking responsibility for managing their family's expectations, and you are supporting them. Another common example is family expectations around holidays. Perhaps your spouse's family expects you to be at their house every single Christmas day. This might not work for you or your own family traditions. The resolution is to decide as a couple how you want to spend your holidays. You might choose to alternate years or to split the day between families. The key is that your spouse communicates this new plan to their family as a decision you made together. They might say, "We've decided that this year we're going to spend Christmas morning at our house to start our own traditions." Remember that change takes time. Your spouse might not get it perfect on the first try. There will be moments when they fall back into old habits. When this happens, be patient and gentle. Remind them of the agreement you made. Celebrate the small victories. When your spouse does set a boundary or support you in front of their family, express your appreciation. Say, "Thank you for having my back today. It meant so much to me." This positive reinforcement fills their love tank and encourages them to continue. Your marriage is a journey, and by facing these challenges as a team, you will make your bond stronger than ever before.